Hey everybody, today I want to talk about 5 of the best plants to grow if you're planting things with your kids. There are some great options out there, but I love planting an edible garden because it means you can go out there and snack right off the plants, right? Which is always awesome. And it means that you can be out here growing food for yourself, and also it's just fun. So some of the things that I would recommend, some of my favorites that my kids absolutely love, number 1 are beans. Now you can get a bush bean variety, and those are going to be a little more compact and grow in a container, and they're going to just be easy to take care of. They're not going to take up a lot of space. And I mean, what kid doesn't have to eat green beans, right? Everybody's got to eat green beans. And this is a great one. This is fun to watch as you see them flower, as you see them fruit as they grow, and this is a really fun one. You can even plant from seeds. They're usually fast growing, so you can plant these right from seeds. You don't need plant starts. $2 worth of seeds and a pot full of dirt is all you need to get started, and it's the perfect plant to grow with kids. So that's plant number 1 that I highly recommend. Plant number 2 is any kind of herb, specifically basil, which I have growing here, or mint. These things are basically like weeds. They will grow just about anywhere in almost any kind of conditions. Sometimes you don't even have to worry about watering them too much, especially mint. And these plants are great because you can just pick the leaves right off the plant and eat them. That's the best. Kids can put them in their water bottles or their water cup. You could pour hot water over them and make a little cup of tea for yourself. So this has a lot of practical purpose. Plus, it's really, really, really easy to grow. Now, I never grow these from seeds. I always get a little plant start from somewhere. So this is a great opportunity to go to your favorite local store where you're going to find your little plant starts, and also get some containers and a bag of potting soil. It has to say potting soil on it for your container garden, and get started. You can also look for some plant tags while you're there. Or you guys can have fun together and paint some rocks like we've done at my house to put in the garden to label all your plants. So lots of options for you. Lots of projects to do that are garden related. So those are 2 that I absolutely love that are very easy to grow. A third plant that's not always easy to grow but is really fun is a tomato plant. These are easy to find because you can get them just about anywhere. You can pick the small fruits right off the plant. I suggest looking for a small size like a cherry tomato, or this one is a yellow pear tomato, and they're going to be a really fun shape and color. And that's why I love planting these with kids, because they are really fun to watch as they grow, and they're a really interesting shape, and they're kind of surprising. Always plant some marigolds and some basil with your tomato plants. That's going to help prevent bugs and make it easier for you to take care of your plant. Make sure you put it in a pot big enough for all of the tomatoes' best friends. And this will be a really fun one to grow. Plus, you'll have some color in the garden. And what I love about having tomatoes in the garden too is you can give your kids a gardening task. As these branches might start to yellow, or the ones on the bottom are ready to be pruned, you can send them out there with little scissors and say, hey, go harvest the tomatoes, or go prune the tomato plant, trim off anything that's dead. They can deadhead the marigolds. These are great garden tasks to get them out of the house, off their technology, into the yard, get their hands in the dirt, and they're practicing their cutting skills, and you're teaching them how to cultivate a great plant. This is an incredible skill to have for life. So tomatoes, always ones that I like to add. So let's see, our favorites are beans, some sort of herb like mint or basil, tomatoes. I also love to grow peppers. Now peppers, for the most part, are not quite as fussy as some plants. It's all relative though, right? I have basil planted in here, and I will also probably I will look up something else and see if onions or garlic are good to put in there too. Those do wonders in the garden to help prevent bugs, and that's something that I will be planting in nearly every pot where it's possible, where they're friendly and compatible. I will be planting onions or garlic so that all of the pests stay away from my favorite things. Peppers are really fun. You can get some called snack size, and those are kind of those mini bell peppers you probably buy in a bag at the grocery store. Those are great because you could pick them off the plant and eat them while you're working here in the garden. They're perfect for packing up in a lunch. You could send a kid out here to get them and pack them up in the lunch. These grow pretty easily. They don't really require a lot of staking or monitoring, but they do have to be carefully watered, and you do have to watch them just just in case there are signs of pests. But that's another one that my kids love. If you grow something like an Anaheim pepper, those are going to grow really long, and they start off green. If you leave them on the plant, they'll turn red. They're not really hot, but it's fun too to send your kids out and say, hey, go measure the pepper, see if it's long enough to cut. So that's another thing where they can be learning and practicing math skills in the garden with a ruler, and they can be, you know, adding up how many peppers are there. They can be sorting them by color. They can be lining them up by size, and it's a fun one to send them out to measure. I also recommend strawberries. I would say that's probably my 5th plant on my list. They're fairly easy to grow. You can find these kind of plant starts just about anywhere. And again, I love these because they're easy to grow. They're fun to watch. They get these beautiful flowers. The bees will come, which is always great. And you can just pick these fruits right off the plant while you're working in the garden. I don't think I've mentioned anything that I say harvest those and bring inside. No, just eat them while you're gardening. There's a lot of other great choices for things that are fairly easy just to sow in the ground and get growing. The spinach, the collard greens, the lettuce. We haven't had to do much. We just put the seeds in there, make sure the weeds aren't going crazy, and pretty soon you'll have some things to harvest. So those are other great easy choices that are pretty easy to grow. As far as flowers go, marigolds are always a great choice. Geraniums are pretty much left alone by bugs and pests like rabbits and deer. Usually leave these alone. So if that's a factor, those are great ones if you want to grow some flowers. I love the celosia. This is going to fill in and be incredible. And you can also grow straw flower. You can practice just about anything from seeds and see what happens. That's always a great experiment. And zinnias. Zinnias are beautiful. They will grow these stalks with lots of beautiful flowers. They're great ones to cut and bring in. So if you want to grow something where your kids can go out and make a bouquet from your yard, I would grow a lot of zinnias or a lot of straw flower, something that they can pick. That would be really fun to kind of bring that outside inside. And lastly, I would say something like chamomile, which is going to, look at my big, this is where everything needs to be cleaned up. Every garden has a pile of junk that needs to be cleaned up. It's like a requirement, but this chamomile was so easy to grow that it planted and grew itself. And I have done nothing to it. I haven't even watered it. It's just hanging out over here, and look, it's already flowering. And actually, when it starts to look like this, you can just come through. Your kids can help with this part too, and you'll just pick that flower head like that. You'll trim that up a little bit, and then you can let this dry, and then you can use it for tea. Or if you look up, there are some instructions on how to use fresh chamomile for tea as well. So that's another great one that you can be planting, that's easy to grow, easy to maintain, easy to harvest, and fun to use for something in your house, in your life. You can consume it. Okay, so those I think are my best. Like, those I think would be my top 5. So let me recap if I can remember, because I said a lot of extra stuff. Beans, definitely easy to grow. Some kind of herb would be really fun. Tomato if you're feeling bold. Peppers if you want to take a chance. Strawberries for snacking in the garden. And maybe you throw in some cutting flowers or some other great things like chamomile, marigolds, straw flower, zinnias. I think that covered it. That's where I would start if I were you. But of course, it's easy to grow just about anything in a container if you have the right variety and you have good soil. So don't let my list prevent you from growing something you're really interested in. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you are just getting started with your container garden, or you are gardening with your kids, what are your favorite things to grow as a family? Please let me know. I love getting out here with my kids. There's so many good benefits to being in the garden together. I would love to know if you're doing that with your kids, with your grandkids, with the neighbor kids, with your nieces, nephew, whoever it is, whatever kids are in your life. I hope you're getting them out here because, one, they can do a lot of the heavy lifting and a lot of the hard work for you. And two, it's just a great place to reconnect, get some fresh air, and then be really proud of the things you've done together, right? I will leave you with one last story. In my front yard, there is a plant growing. We call it the James tree, It belonged to my nephew. He got it the last day of school. You're supposed to take it home and plant it. And they were moving about 2 weeks later. So he didn't want to take it home and plant it because he wasn't going to get to see it grow up. So I put this little tree in a pot and tried to take care of it. And let me tell you, he asks me all the time how that tree is doing. So this is a great way. And my point is just that this is a great way for you to connect with the children in your life, near or far, so that you can be sharing in something very special together. I hope you have a great day, everyone. If you like this video, please leave me a like. Leave me a comment and let me know what you're planting. If you're planting with children, let me know what you're planting or what your recommendations would be. I would love to be learning from you what you think would be great. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that button for alerts too, so that you know when something new goes up. I'm trying to post a video like twice a week, so I don't want you to miss anything. Coming soon, some garden crafts I think you're gonna love. And maybe we'll even paint some rocks to put in the garden, right? Just to spice it up, spruce it up, add some more color. Anyway, that's it from me. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching. Please go out with a smile on your face and don't forget to grow something.